Today on Southern Accent Foods, I'm making 4 essential side dishes for the holidays.
Plus, I'm going to talk about rice for the haters. Let's get started.
Homemade cranberry sauce. You'll need a 12-ounce bag of fresh cranberries. Rinse them and get them into a saucepan. Zest up an orange and get the zest right in there. Squeeze the orange juice in there as well. Pour in some sugar. Start with about 3/4 of a cup and taste it when it's done. You might need more. Cranberries are very tart. Get a cinnamon stick in there. This is optional, but I like to add some cayenne. Pour in some of your favorite cherry soda. Lemon lime soda works great here too. Turn the heat up and simmer until it goes nice and thick. You can buzz it up with a stick blender if you like, but I like a little more of a rustic consistency. That's all there is to this. Now we're going to make some gravy. Dice up a small onion or a shallot. Do the same with a rib of celery. 2 tablespoons of butter into a saucepan over medium heat. Get your diced onion and celery in. Stir and cook until softened, about 5 to 6 minutes. Sprinkle in 1 ounce of flour. Stir and cook for just a few minutes. You don't want too much color on this roux. The longer a roux cooks, the darker it gets and the less thickening power it has. Toss in about a tablespoon combined of fresh chopped parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, just like the song. Easy on the sage and the rosemary. They can overpower this easily. Just stir it up for a minute or two so those herbs can heat up and start to release their oils and flavor. Start with the drippings from your roast in a fat separator and top it up with chicken stock or beef stock to make 2 cups. You can double the recipe for this if you need more of the gravy. Whisk it right in and bring to a simmer. Stir and cook for about 5 minutes. Pour in just a little heavy cream and stir to lighten it up. This is optional, but I like to finish this with a splash of bourbon. My stepbrother, also a chef, uses a splash of red wine here. That's great too. Now I'm classically trained. I'm going to strain my sauces, but if you don't mind floaty bits, you don't have to. Get this into a gravy boat and try not to drink it with a straw. Serve it over your mashed potatoes, or for me, good old white rice.
It's too windy out at the lake today, so I'm in the little back room of my RV that I stay in sometimes out here. I'm going to talk to you about rice. By far, my most popular video was a short that I uploaded called How to Cook White Rice. And the haters, they came at me. I got threats. I got somebody told me I should be in prison. I had one guy that threatened to, let's say, come at me. I don't know how I can't say it for YouTube. I don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, rinsing rice was the big deal. I don't rinse rice typically. You can, but it's not necessary where I come from. I grew up eating rice. My grandmother cooked it all the time. I've never seen her rinse rice. But anyway, it is a cultural difference. I have a buddy that owns a sushi restaurant in Charleston, and he rinses the hell out of his rice. But the thing I think it's a mistake. They think that it's dirty or nasty or something if you don't rinse it. When rice is packaged, into processing facilities, it goes in bags, which go into cases, which go onto pallets, onto trucks, and then it bounces up and down the road, getting to your store, probably I-95 for me. But when that happens, the individual grains of rice rub together, and it creates a sort of a dust, which is like the starch from the rice granules. That's all it is. So if you choose to rinse that away, your rice can have a different texture. It'll be a little bit lighter and fluffier. If you don't, you have a little bit more cohesive. I think it tastes better. I love the way it smells when it's cooking. But don't make the mistake of thinking that unrinsed rice is unclean rice. You definitely don't have to rinse it. Depends on your culture, how you were raised. And one of the commenters said something that I agree with. If you get your rice and you have things other than rice in the bag, then you do need to rinse it because you have a problem that I don't have. So rinse away or not, it's up to you.
Next up, homemade dressing. Get yourself a big loaf of bread or some baguettes or any kind of bread you like. Tear it up or dice it up into cubes and let it go stale overnight. Or you can put it in a low oven until it dries out. Get it into a bowl. Set a saute pan over medium heat and get some diced onions and celery in. Season with salt and a good generous grind of black pepper. Stir it up and cook until it goes nice and soft, about 5 or 6 minutes. Add in some minced garlic and a mixture of chopped fresh parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, again just like the gravy. Easy on the sage and the rosemary. Stir and cook for 1 more minute. Pour in just a little bit of chicken stock to loosen up the browned bits on the bottom of the pan. Mix all this with the bread pieces in your bowl. Pour in more chicken stock to moisten and an egg. Mix this all together. I'm making a small version here because I have a small oven, but I'll link you to the source recipe. This is my adaptation of a recipe from Southern Living. Get this mixture into a baking dish and let it sit while your oven preheats, or you can hold it in the fridge until you're ready to bake. 375 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about 190 degrees Celsius. Bake until it goes nice and golden brown and finish with some more parsley. Now I'll show you how to make the best and easiest glazed carrots ever. Peel up some carrots, who'da thunk it? Slice them up on the bias. I like a piece you can really get a fork in. Melt some butter in a large saute pan, make sure it has a good lid. Here's an unusual ingredient. I want you to pour in some ginger ale just to cover the bottom. Carrots and ginger are best friends. Sprinkle in some brown sugar and stir this all together until the sugar melts. Get those carrots in and squeeze in just a touch of lemon juice. Stir it all up to coat. Turn the heat down to low until it's barely simmering. Cover it up and set on a back burner for about an hour or until the carrots are nice and tender. Give it a stir and check on it every 10 or 15 minutes or so. When you're just about ready to serve, turn up the heat and simmer if the glaze needs to thicken. Just watch it and stir, don't burn it. Garnish with some parsley. Carrots and parsley are in the same botanical family, so they're great together. And here are your glazed carrots. I bet even the kids will eat these.
I hope you get to try some of these recipes. This is my absolute favorite time of year. Weather's getting colder, football's ramping up in full swing. I just love it. Going to be a lot of turkey consumed over the next 6 weeks or so. I love the big get-togethers. Thanksgiving, definitely. Here's an interesting fact about a turkey. A little bit of trivia. Which side of a turkey has the most feathers? The outside. I have another great video all about potato side dishes. Click on that and I'll see you there.